Says he wasn't experiencing any nerves for his first college game.
I felt pretty comfortable all the way. I thought I would be really nervous, but I really wasn't. And just do what I did in practice, and then just come on, bring it out on the field.
At Lutheran, Robinson was a workhorse. At ISU, at least for now, he's part of a committee of 4 running backs who will rotate.
I thought all along we had pretty good backs, and I think they proved out tonight. All 4 of them played well, I thought. They all had their moments, and we're going to need them, throughout the season.
I'm fine with the rotation, really. I mean, all of us can be fresh going into the next game, and then we always have fresh legs in the game instead of wearing someone out.
Robinson says in college now he's more focused on the little things that it takes to become a great running back, like ball security.
You always have to have the ball high and tight and work on your cutbacks and everything else, so it's just a lot of little stuff that in high school that you didn't really work on that you work on here.
Another Redbird who had a good opening night was Boylan graduate Sean Slattery. He made all 3 of his field goal attempts, and he tacked on 5 extra points. He also boomed 3 kickoffs for touchbacks. The Redbirds will play at Northwestern this Saturday. Well, that LSU player who took a cheap shot at the Badgers, Dakota Dixon, at the end of Saturday's game is paying for it. Josh Butte is
For the Wildcats, it's Justin Jackson. On the other side, for Coach Spack's Illinois State team, they do a running back by committee. In fact, they have 6 guys that will carry the football.
And, yeah, you look at Pat Fitzgerald. He wants to correct his defense. He's going to have to be ready for all these different attacks. They each provide a different role within their offense. Over 400 yards they gave up last week to the Western Michigan Bronco. Pat Fitzgerald better be ready for these running backs.
It's going to be a great one coming up. Illinois State, they've been to the FCS playoffs 3 of the last 4 years. We'll see if Northwestern can hold them off coming up on BTN. Jerry DiNardo's Spice Adams, Saturdays beginning September 24th on BTN and streaming live on the BTN To Go app. Second quarter action, Illinois State. 1st and 10, swinging it out to the right side to James Robinson. And he's pushed out on the near side just across the 30.
Just becomes a running back screen. You see the right tackle release. 2-second timing. You've got your lead blocker right ahead of you. And this Robinson in space is dangerous. He can do it all. I mentioned over 9,000 yards in terms of his Rockford, Illinois career. 158 touchdowns. He can... And I talked to Pat Fitzgerald before the game. That was one running back that they thought was going to be a true danger out of all 6 that the Redbirds utilized.
Yeah, they wanted to redshirt him. He had such a good camp. They didn't redshirt him. They said we need to play him right away. This time, it's not Robinson. It's DeMarco Corbin with a carry. Tackled in the mix there, number 32, Nate Hall for North.
Been on a steady climb under head coach Brock Spack in recent years, but the Redbirds have never beaten a Big Ten team. Northwestern trying to avoid being that first victim. The Wildcats hosting the Redbirds. Lutheran grad James Robinson playing in his second collegiate game. JR gets his number called. In the first half, he makes the catch for a 3-yard gain. Gary Griffin has his seat in the front row. Lots of Rockford fans in the crowd. No score late in the second quarter. George Morera punches it in for a 6-0 lead, but Sean Slattery missed the extra point. Rockford native Brock Spack on the sideline talking to his guys, keeping them focused. In the fourth quarter, Northwestern answers. Clayton Thorson hits Austin Carr on 4th down, and that's for 6. It's a 7-6 Wildcats lead. Allie from Boylan, now a Northwestern cheerleader. She knows ISU kicker Sean Slattery from high school. He's hoping to get a shot at the win. The Redbirds drive down the field in the final minutes. They get into position for a game-winning kick with 3 seconds left. Slattery boots it up. It's off the post and through the uprights for the win. Illinois State pulls off the win, 9-7. 13 Sports Director Derek Bain has more from Evanston.
Redemption for Sean Slattery. The Boylan grad missed 2 kicks, a field goal and an extra point in the first half, but he bounced back in the fourth quarter to send Illinois State off with a victory at Northwestern. It was the school's first ever win over a Big Ten team, thanks to Slattery's last-second field goal.
I was hit twice, and it was I don't know, it was a good feeling. I honestly don't even remember what it felt like because it just kind of all just happened so fast, but no, it was great. I was so excited.
Once we started going down the field, I knew that Slats would make the field goal because he's pretty good at kicking. So, I mean, once we got down there, I felt pretty comfortable.
I was just, crossing my fingers for Slats, and I have confidence in him. I know he was going to hit it, so I'm just glad we won.
So a big moment for Sean Slattery. He's the hero of the day as ISU gets its first win ever over a Big Ten team. They were 0-8 previously, so they come to Northwestern and get the W. Now they'll go back home next week to try and do the same thing and maybe get a less dramatic win against a pretty tough Eastern Illinois squad. Reporting at Ryan Field in Evanston, I'm Derek Bain for 13 Sports.
Welcome into the Sports Ticket. I'm Mike Buda. It was a magical run for James Robinson at Lutheran. The state's all-time leading scorer and rusher is now at Illinois State. And while nobody may know his name in normal, he'll have the next 4 years to change that. Robinson had 37 yards on 7 carries in the opener. His coach, former East linebacker Brock Spack. Robinson early in the second in the backfield, swings out of the right, makes the catch for the 4-yard pickup, ends up being his only play of the day. Later in the first, teammate
First and 10 now at their own 37-yard line after the change of possession. So Robinson across the 40. Going to be a 4-yard gain. Freshman from Rockford getting some reps in there. First down carry now for Robinson. Bounces off a tackler. Not much there. Gets to about midfield. David Owens in on the tackle. And maybe a yard or two.
Something all those running backs, on the ISU sideline are good at those, keeping their feet.
Offensive look now for the Redbirds under Jake Colby. And we're seeing for the first time James Robinson getting a carry. Robinson, the true freshman for Illinois State, the all-time rushing leader in high school football in the state of Illinois, playing for the Redbirds.
He's going to get a lot more touches this week, Kurt, with the other running back, George Morera, being out. You're going to see him in there quite a bit. And I think that he's one of the most talented running backs in this trio that you're going to see today. You'll see him in there in certain packages on offense as Robinson's back in the game, deep with Colby under center now.
No gain on the last play, 2nd and 10. This is Robinson. He's going to get to about the 21-yard line before he's finally stopped, or I should say the 15-yard line before he's finally stopped. So the Redbirds will face 3rd and long. George Morera, the Redbird starting tailback,
will get themselves into a more manageable 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 situation.
And we got to give him credit for getting a 5-yard gain out of that when it didn't look like there was much there. Colby on 3rd down, over the middle, it's complete. On 2nd down, it's going to be Robinson. Shakes off a tackler and gets across the 45.
The strength of his game, he's so strong. As you see him, nothing on the inside. He tries to bounce it outside, and there shakes off a couple of tacklers before he's finally pushed out of bounds. He's a strong kid. You can see right there the bottom half of his body. I mean, his legs are like tree trunks, Kurt. I really...
Robinson with 3 carries so far for 14 yards. Has been tough sledding for both offenses as far as
is going to be key to his development.
On 2nd down, Redbirds trying to set up a screen. It's Robinson, and he's still on his feet. He's got 1st down yards and more out to midfield before he's finally pushed out of bounds. James Robinson showing his versatility.
So on the very next play, after I talk about him needing to do a better job of picking up blitzers in pass coverage, look at what he can do with the ball in his hand. This is why this kid is so special. Robinson doing a nice job of weaving his way through the defense and then finding the crease down the sideline.
A 27-yard gain, biggest play of the game for the Redbirds so far. Advantage on 1st down. This is Robinson. Boy, if he was 1 tackle away from breaking that off for a long touchdown run, but instead he's tripped up about the 35-yard line.
That is
a 13-yard gain and a 1st down for the Redbirds.
That's a touchdown saving tackle by Kenny Bishop. There is nothing between James Robinson and the end zone except for Bishop, and he does a nice
way. This is Robinson across the 25, still on his feet, and again shakes another tackler and gets out to about the 40-yard line. Nice kick return for the freshman from Rockford.
not only is he strong, Kurt, but he's pretty fast and he plays well in space. He's able to get off of tackles. As you see here, he looks like he's pretty much hemmed up inside the 20-yard line. He breaks 1, 2, 3 tackles before he finally bounces it outside. And there's another fourth one that he kind of bounces off of. The only thing that stops him is the sideline.
I tell you, you mentioned that Marshawn Coppage used to wear number 25, and the way James Robinson has given us a little bit of a glimpse as a first-year player, you start thinking to yourself, wow, he's a pretty good number 25 as well.
They look very similar out there, don't they? They look very similar, and I think by the time he's a junior and senior, we might be talking about the same golf.
South Dakota, so he's posted back-to-back solid performances. Here's Robinson still on his feet. He breaks a tackle. James Robinson is caught from behind. That saved the touchdown. He's inside the 10-yard line of Youngstown State.
What a run by the freshman. As you see here, he breaks the tackle on a nice cutback, and then 2-3 Youngstown.